You're listening to the European Parliamentary Research Service podcast on 3D printing.
A new pair of shoes, a beefsteak, a house, or even some body parts, the rise and development of 3D printing technologies promises to radically change the way we live. But it's in the medical field where the greatest expectations and fears converge. Stay with us.
Today, objects which until now could only be produced in a factory are being 3D printed in businesses and homes all around the world, cutting down in production and shipping costs and allowing the production of highly customized objects.
The technology is already used in some medical domains such as dentistry and prosthetics to produce dental crowns and bridges, for example, and even prosthetic limbs.
3D food printers are also becoming fashionable and have been used in nursing homes to adapt taste and texture to residents' needs.
And in the future, 3D printing could also be used for individually tailored drug delivery, combining all the drugs in a patient's prescription into a single tablet.
By adding layers of material, usually plastic, according to a 3D design, we can now print almost anything. But could we also print blood vessels, nerves, bones, or skin?
Well, that's a bit more complicated. Many scientists are now exploring methods to print biological materials, and we've already had some clinical successes, with 3D printed scaffolds being transplanted directly in the patient to encourage bone, cartilage and skin growth. But producing biological materials outside the body is somewhat more complex.
But while we're nowhere near being able to produce life-saving 3D printed hearts or kidneys, we can't rule out this possibility for the future.
Bioprinting is a highly contested area and raises serious questions about standards and accessibility. Theoretically, it could save billions on a global scale whilst boosting the accessibility of medical care, but concerns have been raised over ensuring the quality of bioprinted materials and who will control the right to produce them.
DIY biologists using 3D printers to experiment outside the usual scientific, medical and commercial institutions are difficult to monitor and regulate, but could pose serious safety and security threats.
Further ethical concerns are raised by the fact that 3D printing may also be used for non-therapeutic purposes, such as producing implants for body enhancement procedures.
So there's plenty to think about for European and global regulators. Their task in the coming years will be to strike the right balance between keeping standards high to guarantee patient safety and ensuring that the greater financial and technical barriers associated with 3D printing do not restrict patients' accessibility to these new products.
By promising a factory in every home, 3D printing could change our everyday lives beyond recognition.
So some technology visionaries say if you're not excited by 3D printing, it's because you're not thinking big enough.
You're listening to the European Parliamentary Research Service podcasts.